Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to badge in and close the vault because you are now tuned into the SCIIF International, which is situations and conversations inspiring intellectual futures. I got 0400 in Vegas, I got 0600 in San Antonio, and I have 2000 in South Korea. Kayla, do you know what that means?
It's time for Q's with K.
Yeah, we're about to transcend. We are worldwide out here, so we are going from lower class and outcast to podcast. So, of course, as you said, it is Q's with Kayla, because Lord knows she never runs out of them. So, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce the crew for this episode. So again, starting out there in South Korea, our hostess for the day, the one woman crowd in style. She hails from the Meadows, also known as Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Makayla out there. Of course, shout out to wherever Faye is, wherever she is. Shout out to her. You doing good out there?
Yes,
you doing good?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Doing great.
Get turned up. Okay, we're pivoting to the elder table out there in San Antonio by means of the Know Ya Baby. Hail to the chief. We call him Bee Rouser. We have Chief Bee Rouser. What's going on, B?
Hey,
doing
man,
good out
I'm
there?
out here. It's early. It's on a weekend, but I'm very excited to be here. Very excited to get into our discussion, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a barn burner, as they say.
Okay, cool. And then, of course, live from Las Vegas by means of San Diego and Chicago, I am Christian HYPE Sledge. And if you are hearing this, be glad because you're alive. You got another chance to be better. Lord willing, we're going to try and help you make it happen with some situations out here today with Makayla. So, hey, Makayla, please enlighten these folks with whatever questions and concerns you have today. They're ready to hear it. So we are turning it over to you. What do you have for us?
All right, guys. A simple question just to start off. How do you guys usually respond to hardship? Are you guys a fight, flight, or freeze type of person?
So I'll start. I would say from my past and how I've grown up in New Orleans, it's more fight. That is my initial going out the gate. Fight as hard as you can. Fight until you can't fight anymore. As I progressed over the years, it's been more of assess. If I could throw in a different level of analyzing the situation, right? Because as you gain experience and life experience and you gain just overall just more time, I assess now before I do anything. So when I encounter those struggles, I'm like, let me sit back, let me take a step back, let me look at it. But initially, always fight, 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 fight.
Yes. Okay. Christian, what are you?
The same. So
Okay.
I'll fight, and it's due to my background. It's due to where I'm from. Like again, the areas that I'm from are not known for being the evade type of place. It's pretty aggressive out there, in the streets. And to be honest with you, I'm from the block, so even though I have we talk a certain way, there's a duality that you guys don't know, you don't understand, and we don't reveal it for a reason. Because folks don't understand that, right? It is like, we live in professional environments, but if you get to know, if you knew me back then, and I'm not the type of person who is a fighter. I'm not that, I am, but I rather not use that. The environment, it makes you that way, right? Because you can't just go around there looking like, you're that dude or that guy, that gal to just roll up on and take their milk money, right? You're made that way. At least you have to provide enough gusto to say, hey, I'm not the one. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. And if you want to try, right, then I'm not just gonna go down. So it is. I know they teach us to evade and all that other stuff like that. I got it. But nowadays, again, it's like an assessment. You got to use your brain and figure out, if the juice is even worth the squeeze. And most of the time, it's not. It's not that serious. It's not life or death or anything else like that. But based on our backgrounds, we can argue it was life or death out there, because if you did not respond,
They call it de-escalation techniques now.
Yup.
How can you de-escalate the situation? And I will tell you, growing up how I grew up in the lower ninth ward in New Orleans, I mean, you talk about from crime to drugs to you name it, it's there. So it takes a unique person to navigate those different situations just to make it to school. Think about that. I'm trying to go to school in the morning, and I have to take public transportation because my mom ain't taking me.
Yup.
Catch a reader for the people from Noya who know what I'm talking about. Catch a reader, and outside the Desire projects, and it's it's a rough life. So de-escalation or, hey, I know Rico on the corner, he's there at this point in time. So I need to go ahead and go this way versus that way. Or my mom catch me out here at this time. She is going to literally beat, I mean, this is
Right,
old
right.
school
It's a
thinking,
whole
right?
different generation.
Well, yeah, it's a whole different generation than now. But those de-escalation techniques, those, hey, let me assess, and it kind of has some assessment. You're assessing even back in the day, because back in the day, it was kind of an assessment, right? Like, all right, I need to get to school. What can I do? And I never realized it, but it is more like when you're faced with that front facing problem, it's like, okay, what do I do, man? I got to fight through this. So
Mhm.
it can become very charged.
Yep. Yep, I agree. My mom was more like, "Be a fighter." She was like, "Don't let anyone push you around." And my mom, very strong woman, she was like, "You have to be a fighter." I was like, "Alright, I got you." And now I'm a fighter. But
Love it. Love
You the
it.
yep.
type of you fighter, but you save, so you probably beat somebody down and then pray over the body.
That's exactly I was just telling my friend about that because being security
I'm
forces, they that's exactly how it was. Yup. Yup. So being in security forces, my friend, like, they had asked me, they're like, if you had to like defend your life and like unfortunately shoot someone, would you be able to? And it was like, I think to save myself in self-defense, yes. But then after that, I'd try and like save them. And like I would never want anyone to die. I would just feel so bad. I'd be like, I know you tried to kill me, man, but I don't want you to die.
he was like it was like was that seller's
Yup.
remorse? It's a seller's remorse.
Yup. Like, Lord, don't let this one die. Yup.
No, no. Why did you make
Hmm.
me do this? What you made
This
me
is
do?
your fault.
Now I gotta give you your
Yep.
last rites. No.
Mhm. Okay, and moving on. In some of your hardest struggles of your life, how were you able to push through and what did you guys learn from it?
Chief,
All
you
right.
wanna take that one? You got that one.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
all
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. I will tell you this. So one of the, and this is, I'm not gonna say it's more recent than not. I would say one of the most hardest struggles that I had to deal with and come to grips with over time. And it was almost like just like a swell, like an explosion, like a volcano. Like I've been dealing with so many things throughout the years, and then this extra thing just put me over the top. So story time, guys. Story time, guys. Go ahead and buckle in, buckle in. So I worked at 19th Air Force in JBSA Randolph with a Chief Master Sergeant Kevin Lentz, the late great Chief Master Sergeant Kevin Lentz. He was the MASHCOM functional manager for AETC. So he oversaw all the career enlisted aviator AFSCs within the command. I was basically his FAM, his functional area manager for my particular AFSC. So he oversaw it all, and I was the FAM. So during this particular time, during COVID and all this other stuff, we had all kind of issues, man. We had dorm issues. So this was crazy. People didn't see all the stuff behind the scenes, but we had like certain constraints. So normally you could pack like 3, 4 airmen in a room, which is crazy, right? I mean, Ken got 3, 4 airmen in a room with her, right?
No,
But
I don't.
in
No.
training in a training atmosphere, you're limited to space, you're limited to beds and things like that. So you would go two to a room. I mean, that's what you would have to do. Now during COVID, you had space restrictions, right? You had to wear a mask, you had to have people separated and stuff like that. So in particular, my AFSC, we were pushing through 500 people per fiscal year, per cycle. We're trying to get as many people as we can through the pipe in order to meet those in strength goals that we had and that we kind of benchmarked from the start of the program flying training cycle. So me and Kevin, man, we're going all over. We're traveling, right? We're going to Cali. We're going to the FTU. We're going to different places all around. We're going to combat squadrons. We're going all over in order to kind of sell the flying training unit. So people understand like, hey, come be a part of this. It's a good change in pace from combat to this. So that's where we kind of like really connected. So he, took me under his wing. We talked about a lot of different things. He confided in me, he talked about he was one of the first chiefs that actually was super vulnerable in so many different situations. Like I recall a time where he was giving a speech in front of some instructor cadre and Kevin was like stuttering and he was like, he was getting nervous and you can see him get nervous. I'm like, man,
Mhm.
is he nervous? I mean, this dude then did all kinds of stuff. And at this time, Kevin had been in the military, I think 26, 27 years. And he had done so many different things. Understand the different conflicts that he's been a part of. And this dude is larger than life. Like Kevin is 6'5", bald white guy. He looks like, like, dude, he is on point. But he was nervous. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then my friend was like, hey, take over the brief. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm awkward. I'm like, wait, really? Take over the brief? Because I'm always ready. I'm
Mhm.
always right. You got to be prepared. So I'm ready. I know the stats. I know what he's supposed to brief because I'm giving him the statistics, right? I'm the numbers guy in the back. And he literally in the middle of the speech or the presentation said, no, I got it. And I was just like, and stuttering. Guys, when you're having a
Mhm.
presentation and you're struggling through
Mhm.
if you're trying to convey information and your words aren't coming out right, it's like it seems like forever.
It's
It was
deafening.
Mhm.
probably a minute, but it seemed like
It's
forever. So
deafening.
I
Yep.
had to say just how close we became during that time. And after that moment, he said, "Man, I appreciate you having my back, and I appreciate you not stepping in and letting me just, kind of get through it because, for whatever reason later on in my career, I developed this anxiety for speaking in front of crowds. Like I never had that.
Mhm.
He said it just popped up out of nowhere. I was like, wow, this dude is really being vulnerable and talking to me and just I don't know why. He just, just opened up, right? So it was just
Mhm.
kind of like I had never got to know a chief in that manner. At this time, I'm a master sergeant. So it's just like kind of like surreal. Like, what? Like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So fast forward, we're during this COVID time, and I'm at a point in time in my career where I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm at 18 and a half years. I'm like, I'm about to hit 20. I'm about to just go ahead and, punch. I'm done. I've done what I needed to do to potentially promote to senior master sergeant. I just don't know if it's going to happen because, eh, you can try and do your best work year after year. You just never know if it's going to come to
Hit or
fruition.
miss.
And
Yep.
sometimes it bees like that. Not
Sometimes
everybody makes it.
it happens.
Mhm.
It is what it is. I've been doing the same thing over and over again, like trying to do the secret sauce and have everyone look at my records and all this stuff. And dude, it just didn't seem like it was gonna happen. So this year I actually make it and he's there and he's like, I told you, and I'm like, you told me, like, what are you talking about? I've been, trying to make this happen for so long. And, he was one of the catalysts besides Chief Chris King behind me actually getting promoted. And with that promotion came a PCS, right? So I had the PCS. And at that time I was trying to figure out like, hey man, what am I going to do? So I sat down and talked to him about like several different jobs, right? There was a job for MEPCOM where I could be a part of onboarding of guardians, airmen, soldiers, all that good stuff, right? And I was
Mhm.
like, dude, I think that's my calling. He's like, okay, yeah, go for it. I'll do whatever I can. I'll talk to the curriculum manager. I'll make sure I take care of you and get you to where you need to go and kind of open up the doorway for me to kind of take that job instead of going back to combat operations. Well, lo and behold, I went back to combat operations. It got denied. But he was there every step of the way. I want to tell you, I'm saying all this to say how close I was with this guy and how our relationship flourished over the years.
Mhm.
So when I was getting ready to PCS, he said, hey, Rapper. I was like, yeah, Chief, what's up, man? How you doing? He said, I know you're getting ready to transition and go to Shaw. He was like, but I just want to tell you, man, you have everything that it takes to be a chief. You are a chief. I'm just telling you right now. And I'm like, I don't know what you talk about. I'm not a chief. I am not a chief. I'm not that. There's no way. I'm sorry, man. If I was meant to be a chief, I was like, I would already been a chief. I'm not a chief. I'm a pro chief
Mhm.
in my career where family means more to me now than I just have to, it's a shift, right, in
Mhm.
your life where you have to kind of make a decision. I'm at 19 years versus 20. Once you hit 20, then it's like, and if my ADSC is complete, I got to really make a
Mhm.
decision.
Yep.
So when behold at PCS, I take all that, he's constantly calling me, keeping in contact with me, right? So
Mhm.
I'm getting ready to, I've already completed my EPB, as board only for senior to chief. And he calls me in November and he's like, "Hey, what's up, Ralph?" I was like, "What's up, man?" And he FaceTimed me. Now, this is not it was a random out of the blue FaceTime. Imagine that person that just randomly FaceTimes you at the most weirdest time. I'm in the mountains of North Carolina on vacation with my family. And he's like, "Hey, Ralph, what's up, man? How you doing?" And he has a beard now because he's retired. And he's just like, "Yeah, what's going on, man? How you doing?" He was like, "You looking good, man." I was like, "Man, you look good, man." He was like, "Man, Grandma, I love you and I miss you, man." I was like, "I miss you too, man." He was like, "Did you hear anything about Chief?" He was like, "I have a good feeling about you making Chief." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Okay, cool. You have a good feeling about it." I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, It's one of those things that it could happen, but I don't want to count any eggs before a hatch or anything like that. I make
Mhm.
plans or anything like that because when you make plans, they kind of go by the wayside.
Yep.
So I go forward, I find out that I make it, and he's one of the first people to call me, congratulate me. "Hey,
Yep.
man, told you, see, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, okay, cool. I made it and all this other stuff. So fast forward in February that following year,
Mhm.
get news, like so we had a team of functional managers like I talk about. And on
Mhm.
my it was several master sergeants and it was a couple senior master sergeants. And
Okay.
for at night, like a random time at night, I kept getting calls. And I'm
Mhm.
like, who's calling me at 9 o'clock at night? I was like, I'm not answering this. But it was my team. It was my old team. I'm like, dude, y'all want to talk about like some football or some stupid crap? Like, no, I gotta get kids butts in bed
Yep.
and stuff. I ain't got time to be talking, shooting.
Breeze and
You
on
know,
the across the water cooler and all this mess.
yeah, I ain't got time for water cooler talk.
Got bills to pay.
Man, all of a sudden, I just said, "Man, let me go ahead and answer this, man," and be like, "Bro, like, what is y'all problem?" And it was my good friend Robin, and she was like, "Hey, um, what are you doing right now?" I'm like, "I'm doing good. I'm sitting down. I'm about to get ready to put the kids in bed. What's up?" And she was like, "I need you to sit down." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sitting. What's up?" She was like, Kevin passed away." And I was
Mm.
like, "Yeah, Kevin passed away? What do you mean? Like, Kevin who?" And she was like, "Kevin Les. He passed away. He committed suicide."
Mm.
And I was like, dude, it hit me like the best way I can explain it is like so many issues and things over the years from me growing up where I grew up through the trials and tribulations of Air Force service to that moment was like a rush, man. It was just like everything has like I've been holding everything up and being as strong as I could. And then it's like that was the one thing that I just fell down. Like I
Mhm.
started crying. I couldn't control my emotions. Like for the first time in it was like I just could not control it. And I remember my wife coming in the room and she saw me and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" Like not in the sense of like, like what's wrong with you? Like you're crazy.
Yeah.
He was like, "What is wrong?
Like,
Like
what happened? Yeah.
you are like you're not even be sniffling and
Mhm.
yeah, it's just like super like yeah, it's a very charged emotionally event. And she's just like, like, give me Ashton. Because my son, I had him at the time. She was like, give me it. She was like, just go outside. Like, what do you need? Like, what can I do to help, calm you down? And she was like, well, give me Ashton. And I just want you just, why don't you just sit outside and just, get some fresh air. And I went
Mhm.
out, I got some fresh air, and she was like, just take some time. And dude, it was just uncontrollably just crying and letting it out. And I just couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle the fact that somebody so close that I've been with and who believed in me and, poured into me and was vulnerable with me, I ended up losing, in a situation where he was struggling and I didn't know. So think about this. Think who's pouring into you, doing all this stuff, propping you up, talking about how much, they care about you, they love you. Always
Mhm.
call hey, he would always be like, "Oh man, man, you're a handsome dude." Just always like just bigging you up
Biggest
all the time.
supporter.
Yeah, the biggest supporter and
Mhm.
being wiped away. And that was just such a traumatic experience for me and
Mhm.
pushed me to get some real help. Like it was such a significant struggle during that time that it pushed me to mental health and dealing with those past situations that I didn't deal with prior, right? From growing up in a single parent home to different trials and tribulations of military service to this. And
Mhm.
that was the catalyst to me being putting myself on a better path that I'm on right now. Within my combat unit that I was assigned to, we had psychologists, we had what is it called? The mental health, what's the AFSC? The enlisted AFSC. I can't remember. But we had mental health providers within the unit and a
Mhm.
flight doc, and these members were able and a chaplain, no less. So we had
Mhm.
all that within the unit. And that basically provided the catalyst for me getting better. So I was able to set up like counseling sessions, one-on-ones. I mean, I didn't have to go to the back of the line, show up to, mental health clinic, behind some glass window and everybody see me walk in. It was kind of like go down in the admin building, go talk to them, and they're going to come to your office and talk to you as the NCO. Yeah, I mean, it was great. So I got tremendous support through them, um,
Mhm.
on a path to just being in a better situation. So what I want to
Mhm.
say is what helped me through the significant struggle of that time when Kevin, committed suicide, it was just that Air Force infrastructure. And then also my
Okay.
like it wasn't just the Air Force infrastructure of, mental health and all this other stuff and the psychologist and the chaplain, but it was also my friends understanding like, all right, I'm here for you. But at this point,
Mhm.
I needed more than I'm here for you and an arm around me. I needed professional help.
Help.
And actually admitting that you need the professional help is a hard thing to do. It is not easy to say, I need help. People think that it's easy and it sounds easy, but actually admitting that you need help navigating a critical time in your life where you're just like searching for answers and you don't know why this happened the way that it did. Why did he do this? Is it something I could have done?
Mhm.
And I missed this call no less. It was one night. But so you play
Oh,
all these
man.
different scenarios in your mind, but you're just like, why did this happen? Maybe if I would have answered, maybe if I would have did this. So you beat yourself up about different things that transpire in your life. And then, the Air Force infrastructure actually, came through. And it was one of the most significant struggles in my life. And even to this day, I struggle with it, right? And
Mhm.
it's an ongoing thing to get better and put myself on a path to just being okay, you know? I always think about this dude, even to this day, like, man, I wish you could be here to see the family and us to hang out and, just, so you could see everything.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so you can see, yeah, you know what I mean? See how your realization, your premonition came true. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And it sucks that he didn't get a chance to see it, and his son is now a lieutenant in the Air Force, and dude, like,
Okay.
this dude is like when I tell you he was a shining light. And then, oh, by the way, I remember being at the chief it's like a week where they bring all the chiefs together, and General Menningham was there, and he talked about Kevin Lentz. He was like, "Yeah," you know, he talked about Chief Lentz. I'm like, "Oh my god." And I have a picture with him because I walked up to him afterwards. I was like, Chief Les was, my supervisor. And he was like, man, Kevin was a great guy. It's like he was. And he was like, it really and he's a very charismatic speaker. And it was like it was like reliving it all over again. because
Yeah.
he was in AMC and he was a career load master. And dude, man, these things that you struggle with and the people that you help and you go through life with, you just don't know what they're going through. That's why you have to be available, authentic, and connect.
Mhm.
Don't do the surface level stuff. When you do the surface level stuff, it just gives people a pass to kind of just, hey, and then move on. You know,
Mhm.
go ahead, try to get deeper with people. Try to, no kidding, connect with them and make a difference, because you never know if that's gonna change the trajectory of their lives of what they're going to do. So you
Mhm.
just take time out. I now make it a point just to just read people, their body language, their eyes. Like, how you see somebody, you look them in the eyes, the lights, are the lights on or they off? Their
Mhm.
eyes are
You can
open.
tell. Yeah.
The time when you're just being there, you're just showing up and you're just, I'm at work, but I'm not at work. You know,
Mhm.
I try to take those different times and I try to no kidding, put time into those people and just, ask them about different things. Like, no, are you really okay? Like, no, seriously, I want to know. Like, come in my office. Like, this is safe space. Everybody know in my unit where I'm at is a safe space. Say whatever you got to say, right? And we're going
Mm.
to
That's
navigate.
good.
It's not gonna be some, "Oh, guess what Kay said when she was in here." No, it's like, "Hey,
Mhm.
man, let's have some real talk so we can help you through some of the things and, potentially navigate, a tragedy." So, that was a very significant struggle. I know, long story, but it was one of those moments in my life that is still affecting me to this day, but I'm in a way better place
Mhm.
because of it created the catalyst for me being the person that you see right here, right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think what captured me was at the tail end of your conversation here, when it's like just opening up and really, like I said, asking those second, third layer questions. Like, don't just do the surface level thing, because that man can mean the difference between somebody being here and somebody not being here.
Yep.
Just asking about them and letting them get it out, and that makes all the difference. I used to teach you that, Makayla, when you were going through ROTC, and everybody's fighting a war that you know nothing about.
Yep.
Just saying, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And like ask them a couple of times, like, "Yeah, but you okay? I've noticed this X, Y, and Z. Like, notice something. Get to know people. You'll see that they'll be like when they're troubled, and then they'll actually open up. People don't want to hold that stuff inside. They really want to get it out. So and you gotta just be relevant, be open, don't judge them. Just open up, and you'll be surprised how much just getting that off of their chest changes everything. You don't even have to provide a solution sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, man, I just need to get that out and hear that loud. Okay, I think I know what to do. I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Sometimes that makes the difference. Or just again, just being a nice person, right? Just being there. That makes all the difference. Sometimes you can't, right? Some things you cannot control, but while you can, while they're there, that matters. Like, you just got to think to stop your life for a couple of seconds and just provide that service. You'd be surprised what you get out of it. So I appreciate that, B. That was legit, man. I know that mattered.